Welcome back, one and all. My name is Eltimar, and we are going to be continuing our Let's Play of Torment, Tides of Numenera. Where we left off last time, we were exploring the Circus Minor district in Sagitt's Cliffs. I'm just looking around to make sure we didn't miss any conversation options. I haven't found any yet, but I was just kind of glancing around really quickly. Let's talk to the sculptor. Ziofi glowers blankly at the sky, his battered fingers sculpting the air, his lips moving silently. Also, you might notice that my voice sounds a little bit weird today. I am getting over a wicked bout of bronchitis, and so my voice is actually gone for a couple days because of the coughing and hacking. Currently my mid to high range tones not great, so if my voice cuts out or I sound like a squeaky pubescent boy, I apologize in advance, but otherwise we'll continue on from here. How many statues of this being have you made? Ha! If only my efforts could be limited so. I've sculpted that blasted moment in marble, granite, and clay. I've painted it in oil and blood. It even follows me into sleep, where I weave the scene from clouds and dream stuff. A frustrated tear rolls down his cheek. Even those were flawed. Artists, Tiber murmurs. You'd think they'd be a happy bunch. They'd slap paint on a canvas, and someone pays them to do it. But no. They thrash about in their sleep, moaning and stealing all the sheets. You turn your attention back to Ziofi. Is there anything else you can remember about the creature that killed your subject? What a surprise, Ziofi says, with a ragged, scornful sigh. Yes, let's just ignore the incandescent flare of this stranger's brief life and focus on his murderer. She's so much more glamorous. He grips his sparse hair as if it's going to fall out and glares at you. That's what you want, isn't it? That's what everybody wants. The creature is hunting me too. I need to learn everything I can about it. Read a book then. Pester a scholar with your questions for all the good it will do you. And when the beast claims you as well, spare a prayer for the artist who will drive himself into a grave trying to capture your final moments. Blue tide was raised, and silver tide was also raised. Tell me about the Dendra Ohur. They are a cult and a curse, Ziofi says. They would have you believed that they exist to preserve the great works of humanity, to celebrate life. You may even believe them until you smell their breath. The truth is that they squat in their underbelly chapel, eating corpses and claiming it gives them power. Any progress? None. I need to know who the victim was and what drove him. Without that knowledge, how can I capture him in stone? And that's it. So you're still at an impasse? He snorts. Impasse is a kind word. I call it stuck, defeated, useless.
Let's go.
We'll talk to Telmagur again. Haven't found her. Got some questions. Tell me about yourself, Telmagur. I'm a slaver. I'm the last person you want to make an enemy. I've got a reputation for coming through on my word. Nothing else need concern you. Tell me about yourself again. No. Okay. Order of Truth. Tell me about them. You want to deal with them? Be my guest. Those pompous Aeon priests are up by the government square. They think they can unlock the secrets of the past, but they're not focusing on what's most important, which is creating for the future. They say they're studying, learning, but the fact is they're not doing anything useful. Don't let them tell you otherwise. Tell me more about the Order of Truth. I've told you what I think. I don't deal with them. No point in discussing them further. I have some questions about the cult of the changing god. Delusional meaning seekers. They spend their time chasing their imaginary deity, ignoring what it means to be alive. Oh, what has he done now, they say. Can I tongue his divine arse? As if knowing his life makes theirs any better. If studying his life provides meaning to others, who are you to judge? Who am I to judge? Just another person watching some dim globes waste their lives on a fruitless pursuit. They can follow that fraud all they like, totally up to them, but don't expect me to cheer their stupidity on. Got some questions about slavery here. It's not so bad, not horrific. Almost no one sells them for parts anymore. Fact is, most of them go down to the Bloom, where they can work off their debt to society by opening a maw or two. It's not a forever thing. It's a punishment. I have other questions. That's about it. Alright. So nothing special there. There was one conversation path we looked at, or I did earlier at, who was it? I think it was Felinda.
Why not?
Where we looked into the memory and saw the book we're going to go find her. We were the ones that wrote it. I thought I was recording at that point in time, but I was not, so that was my bad.
Fine.
Let's go talk to Mimion and Casmion again. Ah, you returned to us, and you've completed your task. What did you see inside the clock? Tell us. She is nearly breathless with excitement. I met Kamos, Diviatisu, and Villain. Disappointment creases her face. I know these names. They're not new to us. One sec, sorry. They were favored servants of your creator. Castoffs who served him well indeed. Diviatisu brought the order of truth to Sage's cliffs, but they betrayed their holy trust and disappeared. Our blue tide went up. He sighs, nevertheless, we will honor our arrangement. You sought answers about who might repair the resonance chamber. We know that your sire built it with the aid of another cast-off, still unknown to us. Perhaps one of your siblings might know where to find him, or her. I know of only one other cast-off still in the city, the albino assassin Matkina. They call her the White Death. That's racist. She wore a camouflaging cloak and brought destruction in her wake. The last I heard of her, she was in the underbelly. He restrained a shudder. Seek her, but be wary.
I'll remember that.
Alright. Things are coming up us now. Casmine. You, revered one. Or you return, revered one. How may we assist you today? Do you have any supplies that you could share with me? Share? Oh dear, we're a small group and not wealthy. We exist on donations, curios, and the occasional great gift from one of your siblings. For instance, we had a weapon that once used by the Chelkadon. The Chelkadon, the commander of... She catches herself. My point is that we require payment for our wares. Fair enough. What do you got? Bounder. And some vapors. What happened to your great weapon? I want that. Oh yeah, that's our stuff, sorry. Cortical shunt. It's not terrible. And then just a bunch of consumables. Okay. What can you tell me about the beliefs of your church? We tell the world that you and your brethren are aspects of the divine truth of the changing God, and that each of you brings forth a particular facet of these truths. We seek to study you so we can become more like you. Her teeth gleam as she smiles at you. What are the benefits of joining your church? We can provide our adherents with useful items. We can offer safety against the depredations of those who would harm them as they sleep. Our members may be available to aid each other in specific situations. What can you tell me of the other cast-offs? She smiles and laughs. We've spent years compiling our records, revered one. I know the time seems as nothing to your kind, but we must protect our knowledge. Perhaps if you were to join our group, provide some of your experience to add to our knowledge. Who did you say could lead me to the repair of the resonance chamber? I have consulted my records and made inquiries on your behalf, revered one, but I have been unable to ascertain any truth. Like the clock, this is beyond us. Perhaps the cast-off who aided in its construction, your sister, the albino Makina, might be able to assist you further. Seek her in the underbelly. I'll join the group, why not? He steals a glance at his compatriot. It's unusual for a cast-off to join our group. We are delighted to have the opportunity to get to know you better. His fingers pause momentarily, and you can hear light crackling between them. We have a requirement for membership. You must bring knowledge of a cast-off who is not known to us. He holds up one of his unnaturally long fingers for stalling you. Lest you inquire, you are known to us. That is all. If you are a member of another group, you must also renounce your membership with them. Okay.
Making a note.
Oh, do say you'll bring us word of more cast-offs. Her eyes dart to Mimion, and she clears her throat. Yes, of course. Please let us know if we can be of assistance. Let me sleep. We would be honored if you choose to stay with us. We do request a small donation of 40 shins to offset our costs. He shrugs. We must rely on donations, even from our revered visitors. I mean, we're low on stats, so we might as well.
Thanks.
40 bucks. Outrageous. Just a reminder, lad, Tibir says, catching your sleeve. Riss will be dead by the day after tomorrow if we don't do anything to save him. Yeah, right. Okay, we'll go do that next. Phylithus, I think we did all of the stuff for him already. But you know what? We should probably just check. Yeah, we don't have title search. Okay.
Let's do it.
Let's go talk to the genocide. Sounds awesome. This burly armor-clad figure stands almost motionless as you approach. He regards you silently through a singular eye. The studs on his arms and the blades on his shoulders are stained and pitted with age. When he speaks, his voice is muffled and artificial, a hollow grumble that emanates from the entirety of the helmet. I am the genocide. If you ask, I must answer. Pass on, then, and exchange no words. Who are you? I am the blade that cannot cut, a weapon that cannot strike, a living monument to failure. He shifts his weight. You can hear the frown in his voice. I was Ogesti Tel Katu, the firm hand of tradition. They called me one of the Black Three. Enemies did not understand us. They took my name to mean death in a dozen extinct languages. They called me Orphan Maker, Hope Smasher, Death's Child. My armies blackened the earth and skies. My Dragoliths scoured the land. Domination was my duty. If they had known, if they had welcomed us, they might have been our thralls. Instead, they became dust. All this, it was to have been mine in stewardship for the future of my people. It was promised. But now, his arm falls back to his side. I am the genocide, a relic, the last of my kind. You said you were the last of your kind. Why? I know of no others. Kalagat Anvor, he who shares the truth and understanding, is dead. Vastula, lo, the blinding light of reason, was destroyed. The underspine has fallen. My people are destroyed utterly, and our servant God speaks to us no longer. The clean lines of order and the glory of battle have forsaken us. He pauses. The rest are dust. We rose against a superior foe and were outmatched. Only I remain to tell the story of the Tak. You said you had to answer if I asked why. From within the helmet you hear a grinding noise, the sound of teeth gnashing, amplified, and then the voice again bleak. We sat at the river's edge and we wept for a time that was. We saw nothing more to conquer, and yet our fears still drove us. We had conquered the land, purged its impurities, made it ours. Still we wanted more. When we heard that humans had come to carve a home, we rejoiced to have a new foe, a new test of our truth. We rode against them. We drove them to the forge of the night sky, to the valley of Mrach Jolios, and the dangers of the Black Riage. But those who built atop those ruins, they thwarted us, time and again, and so we brought our constructs and our deadliest warriors to the bay outside the city. We laid a mighty siege. We entered the human settlement. We fought past barricades and traps. Some of our constructs are still here, silent and dead, but when we thought we had achieved our greatest victory, he lowers his head. A powerful nano saved them. With his magics, he called upon the strength of the ancients and captured us. I thought my life was at an end, but he imprisoned me in slow time, trapped me in my body, used machines to paralyze my will. I still remember our glories, and I see the fated future in front of me, and I am powerless to act. The memories of our triumph remain always at the forefront of my mind, and I must answer the mocking questions of these: people or suffer. Can you tell me about the nano who trapped you here? How did he stop you? The genocide raises his hands in defeat. He found old knowledge and made it his own. He created defenses that we could not penetrate. Most telling, most effective, the shield generators. He created 3 barriers around the heart of the city, and the last unmoored the city in time. When our constructs touched it, they flashed to stasis. We could not reach the city, but the city could reach us. You feel the ticklings of memory as the genocide speaks of the shields. He continues to talk, oblivious. Memory come. Anamnesis. The memory from the orb in the labyrinth comes upon you again, stronger than before, but now you remember it as it happened, not as you wished it had. You fought against the woman with the invisible blade, and you crept past the guards at the base of the stair, and you descended into the basement of your tower. You activated generators and descended to the command platform on the heights. The nearby panels buzzed and crackled with unseen energies. The shields, you mutter. We need the shields now. You press several buttons, a generator coughs into life, and the lights flicker for a moment. A faint veil of energy encircles the city, and then there is a strange and terrible stillness, as if the world held its breath. The rest of the memory is bloodshed. The humans of Sagitt's Cliffs made the stranded Tabat pay.
Ready to learn something new.
And then the memory fades. You know now that the Nana who saved the city became the changing god. You know it was he who defeated the Tabat. You remember the hatred, but you do not remember the girl who was with you. What was her name? The genocide watches you silently. You seem very calm for someone who has been in prison for centuries. I have been defeated. I have nothing to fight for. My captor castrated me with a tool they made to dampen my natural urges. I cannot remember, or I can remember the actions. I can recall the glory, but I feel shame, regret. I am weakened, but not by my own volition. The genocide squeezes his fists. What does it matter? Those who stood against me are all dead. I am victorious. I no longer fight with a blade. My weapon is time. He leans in closer. I do not die. I cannot be wounded. I am held like a beetle in sap. Why would I not be serene? He settles back. The Underspine spoke of my destiny. I was to wage war unto the edge of the universe, but the universe keeps going, and so it seems must I. Someday I will be free. Someday. Until then I am incorruptible. How did they stop you from trying to escape? The Nana who raised the shields, or city shields, created a device. He called it the Mind Seer. With it he violated my mind and my memories, and made everything that was at the core of my being. In a fit of vengeance, he tore the truth to me. He made me betray my people. He rewrote my mind. He gave me perfect clarity into the past and gilded my ability to shape the future. The Tabat never sought revenge against foes who were mightier than we. We devised stratagems to defeat them. We tested ourselves. We did not punish or hate. Punishment was purification. This, though, is torture. The worst of the city's refuse can mock me now. They can ridicule and jape, and I am powerless to strike them for their impudence. Then quieter. And now they do not even do that. I have become a fixture, an irrelevance, a non-entity. I am a slave to, you hear his teeth grinding as he thinks of the perfect insult, to peacemakers. I must endure their presence. I feel their corruption sink into me daily. Some foreign part of me desires it. He thumps his fist into his hand. But I remember that I will triumph over them. Eventually they will die, and I will not. The Nana who defeated you was the changing god. He and his children still live. His voice is flat and dead. Others have claimed this. I do not know if they say this to torment me, but if our enemy was a god, even if he was once a man, then to stand against him is to spit in the face of the divine. The Tabat were a holy people. Humans do not believe it, but our rights were as sacred to us as they were profane to your kind. We accepted the will of the ineffable. Any who still live may find the mantle of godhood. To be divine is to be beyond the rule of mortal ethics. Those who would be gods must cast aside these concerns if they are to turn against the old teachings. You mentioned the Tabat. Who or what were they? My people. His face is forlorn. Voice is forlorn. Great warriors, we owned this land. We served the Underspine and it served us. We sought truth and victory. We ascended to Epiphany. We were pure, incorruptible, and indivisible, even in disunity. We found strength in one another, proved it with bloody blades, but we fell. And the Underspine fell, and so, too late we learned a new truth. But I carry the old ways as a seed in my heart. Why did Tabat fight so much? For honor, for truth, for the one way, because it was our duty. We were born to the blade, so it was written, so we chose. Free will is a curse unless given to a greater purpose. Our purpose was given to us by the Underspine, given to the Underspine by our ancestors who found it and crystallized our essence forever. You mentioned the names of some of the Tabat. Can you tell me about them? Kalagat Anvor, the strongest mind of the Black Three. None could stand before him when he bent his mind to their unraveling. Intricate, careful, overwhelming. Vostulelo, a methodical planner. A collector of curiosities, the toolsmith, and construct waker. It was he who brought the ancient machines to life, and I, the knife. The strategist, the blade in their hands. We three were unstoppable. He pauses. Until Sage's cliffs. Until then. Until the corruption of defeat. So wait, can you tell me where the other Tabat are again? The rest of the Tabat have gone to dust. Only I remain. Okay. Let me ask you about something else. You mentioned shield generators. Can you tell me about them? I told you their effect. They unmoored the city in time. They severed our supply lines. They left us vulnerable and defeated us. The Underspine strategy failed us. I began to doubt. He shifts slightly. The generators are unused, abandoned, their purpose forgotten. Though the people of the city still swear by our name, and our terrors are fresh in their nightmares despite the passage of centuries, they have forgotten the means of their salvation. This one beside me no longer functions, but one of the others is buried in the ground not far from here, and has not yet failed. It powers the clock around which those ridiculous fools prance. Tell me about them again? Oh. Okay, I'm just gonna see if he has anything else to say. Alright, I guess that's it. Wait, here we go. The Underspine was our soul, our confessor. We knew clean, hard rapture from it. We knew our path. It gave us the words of the ancient Tabat, and our path was rigid and unbending, absolute. What was the Underspine? He considers, "You would not understand. It was a machine. It was a stone. It was a cavern. It was a city. It was the direct voice of our ancestors. It spoke in our heads, and in our ears, and in our hearts. We heard its voice in our crutches, in our daily instructions. Our God was true and strong and singular, not the fickle, inconsistent things of the modern day." What's the benefit in absolute path? We had no questions about our duty, about our goals, only the particulars. We erased doubts in the purity of utter certainty. Questions raised are questions answered, or they are heresy. No need for self-agony. The necessity of introspection was transmuted into optimization of our paths, into fashioning ourselves into the pinnacle of our achievement. Clear definition in life creates truth, not this pitiful shadow. What happened to the underspine? You can hear the frown in his voice. Sabotage or failure. One of those under my command told me that it had whispered defeat into his ears, as if it had sickened, lost sight of the true path. Given the question, the underspine denied this. My soldier was cast out and I suffered the bar before his doubt. It was years later that the underspine broke, after our failure, and I had never been sure if the seeds for our defeat were planted in those days. He shuffles his feet. The nano who captured me, who nailed me to time. He used the Mind Seer to ferret out the underspine's location. I do not know if he ever found it in the world. He raped a genocide from me, and mocked me with his sobriquet. I was not to blame. I will stand before the underspine and swear my innocence. If your path was unbending, it's a no wonder you broke. I do not bend now. I have been driven down, but I do not bend. I live, and those who stood against me are dead. He turns away from you slightly. Do you have more questions, or do you release me? You get some red tide for that. I guess that's it. No more questions. I wish you no good tidings. Harsh. Let's go touch the machine. This machine towers above you like a dagger driven into the ground by a giant. It seems much older than the surrounding buildings. Your hands itch to touch the array of dark panels scattered around the machine, as though they've touched them before. Anamnesis? Why is this so familiar to me? We're gonna go with 100%. I want to do this one for sure.
Ready to learn something.
You close your eyes to better concentrate, sinking into the currents of a memory that does not belong to you, or at least not to the body you are in, and you hear the thunderous heartbeat of the operational generator calling you from across the centuries. You open cold, focused eyes, ignoring the screams, the drifting tentacles of black smoke. Your attention is solely focused on the health of the machine's heartbeat. You reach into its hissing guts of the generator, adjusting and tuning, hoping. The heartbeat fades into the past. Your body's hand, rests on the rusty surface of the long-dead generator. Let's examine it. Your hands slip over the cobbled-together components and greasy cables, the buttons worn by frequent use. It is a strange accomplishment, this machine. Clumsy but deft. Amateurish but masterful. Only a brilliant mind could have melded so many disparate parts into a functional device. Unfamiliar memories whisper to you. This device was used, though you don't know how, to generate a field that unmoored everything within it from time itself. Your fingers scrape a rough patch. Lifting them, you see a circular symbol etched into the side like a maker's mark. Anything else? Nope. Okay, we're leaving it alone.
Yes.
I guess. Oh no, there's rubble. Let's go do the rubble. A jumble of boulders and debris lies at the foot of the surrounding cliffside. The broken remains of ancient devices lie among the fallen stone, while off to one side, a metallic canister sticks out of the top of the pile. It appears mostly intact. Let's examine the canister. Leaning over, you notice that the container is hollow, with an opening at the top providing full access to the interior. A quick glance reveals that it is empty, while most of the canister is relatively intact. A small part of its exterior wall has been pried open, exposing delicate mechanisms. Let's try and do some machinerying. Who's good at machinerying? You or your companion now have edge in one of your stat pools, granting you a discount on using points. Each level of edge grants one free level of effort, boosting your minimal chance of success. Okay. He's got good edge. Yes, he does. I did 75. That was not ideal, but good enough. Stat pool spent on effort restored. Nice, we got a critical success. Using the pried open panel as a starting point, you delicately disassemble the exterior of the canister and manage to retrieve a small number of intact components. Some shins. Let's check the rocks. You notice a slight gleam as the light hits some of the rocks at just the right angle. You lean closer, tiny mechanical devices are embedded in the rock. A quick search of the rest of the pile reveals that only a small percentage of the rocks are more than they appear. Sorry, one sec. Still dealing with this damn cough, it's so annoying. I just pause videos between coughs, so. We're gonna smash this pile. No one's really good at it, it appears. We can only get 45 with one character. We can get 95 with him, that might be him. Or 65, no, it's definitely gonna be not, yeah, him? No, you. We broke it. You gather up all the stones you can find with the machinery embedded in them and set to work. Soon you have a tidy pile of components that should serve as shins. Alright, we're done with this, I think. That's it. We got a bunch of shins. And I think we're done in this district. Small vandalist phrases are etched into the lower portions of these statues. Declarations of love, defamatory acts, attacks, and announcements of localized existence, whispering in stone form from across the centuries. The energy trapped within the discs instead at the top of the pillars that line this wall appears to pulse slightly as different people walk in front of them. Oh, cool. There's a door here. The skull-like relief could be a warning or perhaps a notice that something harmless but related to death waits below. We're going to be coming back to this district anyways, once we find the slave girl and free that one dude, so we should probably go do that. Because we're going to run out of time to free that dude.
My friend, Orthfong at the Order of Truth, was looking into something for me. I'd like to stop by there. Problem is, most of the priests and I don't get along too well. They might not want to talk to me.
Why won't they talk to you? Like I said, we don't get along, probably because I called them out on their timidity and their bowing and scraping to the slave families, but hells, maybe they've forgotten. Alright, I'll ask them.
Fine.
I think we might end the video here. I'm gonna go take some cough medicine and try and do another one today. If not, at least I got one video back into the groove. Hopefully I'll get more done tomorrow. I really want to get back into this. My throat's still a little bit raw though, so bear with me. I apologize for the delay on videos. I really do. I know that you guys were expecting some on Saturday when I got back, but that was not going to happen. And then Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, I didn't have much of a voice. Wednesday I started to recover a little bit, and today I have a little bit more, but it's a work in progress. So like always, if you guys have any suggestions or comments, please leave them below. Otherwise, I'll see you guys next time. Take care. Have yourselves a wonderful day.